Chew her up. Chew her up. So I saw a couple of memes depicting B, and I laughed. But I also was disgusted. And I know why I'm disgusted. And I don't think people really recognize how symbols work. Symbols represent the unsaid. It's identifiable though. Everyone knows what it means. You cannot tell me a symbol is really ambiguous or abstract. It shares a common relation. And a lot of people forget that. Or a lot of people want to undermine the power of symbols and what it represents and the context in which symbols are framed. And the alignment is necessary to understand, because otherwise you'll be pretending it's not that deep, or that it's just one correlation and not the other. Fragmentations belong to a whole. Also, there's universal law, the law of impermanence. Everything has positives and negatives. But what is overall the picture? What is being said deliberately and what's not being said? Where is the nuance? Let's find that, because if we don't have the nuance and we are just reading it haphazardly, we're going to come to an incorrect analysis. And this is no different from what was said even before. This is a history. Herstory, there's a lineage of events that happens, which creates the narrative. It's not just one isolated event. Although this isolated event makes me even more like, well, thanks for showing me in a bold, more specific way. I'm not going to get the new album. And I have all of B's physical copies. But I'm not getting an album with the American flag on it. It's just not happening. When I see an American flag, I want to burn it. I'm like, where's the kerosene? Like, they belong to be burned. And I can't have no American flag in my place or in my space, wherever. I'm going to listen to the album, Cowboy Carter. This is Act 2. And, you know, this is very intentional. And I'm saving a lot of my thoughts until I listen to the album. But as for the visual representation, nah, I will not. You cannot reimagine that flag. It represents the theft of Native Indigenous land, which she occupies. She lives in this country of America. This is stolen land, all of it. This just reminds me of wearing the Black Panther beret, you know, or calling yourself Malcolm X. Using the tenets and the sloganism of Black liberation struggle and anti-capitalist struggle, though she's not specifically said anything against capitalism. Jay-Z actually said that it would be on the same level as being called the N-word to be called a capitalist. So, and that's her husband. So that's likely, you know, it's like, this is what they actually believe. But I'm telling you, you can run, but you can't hide. So yeah, I just had those thoughts to say. I mean, you know, I see what's happening. I peep the technique, and I hope you all do too. You're supposed to challenge everything, critique more, offer an analysis. And what I'm gonna say is, you can't reclaim something that is identified with oppression. You can't do it. And you cannot create language that substitutes that with, you know, platitudes and gratitudes and, oh, you know, just because someone contributed to this country, like when Africans say, oh, we built this land, or we built this country. Yeah, on slavery. And slavery stole the resources that we needed then and now. And it all goes back to colonialism. It all goes back to the colonial question. How did we even get here? What are we doing about it? This just shouldn't happen. It's just like, oh, and then we were free. Free? Who's free? The whole thing is everybody needs to survive in this country. That ain't something that just came out of nowhere. That was an intentional, policy-driven system held up by white supremacy, held up by capitalism, held up by oppression and genocide, legalized violence against African people, against Native Indigenous people. We are struggling out here. Beyonce is a billionaire. Her husband is a billionaire. Sean Carter, Beyonce knows Carter. I saw someone say Beyonce knows Jimmy Carter. Love it! Y'all, we gotta wake up. And by wake up, I mean, if you even sleep, write down those dreams. Connect the seams. Blessings. Y'all, I'm here with a unfortunate message, and I have heard this message before, and I'm having to give this same message to somebody. Yesterday's price is not today's price. Yesterday's price is not today's price. And this was never a fixed price. This price from the beginning was always maybe. I don't know. And when you confirmed, I'm like, no. And it's not what I thought. If it was what I thought, it would have been the same price. So the price was contingent. The price was dependent. It was conditional. It was not unconditional. It depended. Yesterday's price is no longer recommended, for I have extended. And this has done my head in from within, because communicating that to somebody, everybody, most people want yesterday's price. They want that reciprocal. They want that reciprocity. And if they think they're going to get that reciprocity, they're looking forward to it. They're looking forward to it. And then upon their arrival, upon their anxiousness and anticipation and desire, sometimes even within their search, within their waiting, they're then told. They're then shown. It is then revealed to them. Damn! I missed it. Or damn! It didn't work out. Oof. Guess it wasn't meant for me. I guess it was never meant for me. This time around. Damn. Well.
Randomly, usually the opposite of uniformity, but the shifts in time form a certain parity. With the gesture of buttons comes clarity.
rUiSoPC. Buttons, y'all. I was just kind of getting bothered thinking about how people, and this happens under a specific kind of propaganda that is given to us, especially right now, and I'm talking about the voting season. People feel like their vote matters and that who they elect is going to actually change the conditions, because it's not about the president, but the administration, the people who he surrounds himself with. And we got to look at those as opposed to seeing what this two-party duopoly is really demonstrating and has demonstrated for a long time. If people pay attention to policies, they won't be so confused, because the policies on what's going on in occupied Palestine right now, what's going on in Haiti and the Sudan, all of Africa, all the policies that Biden and Trump are in agreement with. They are in agreement of destabilizing the masses of people through violence. It's not even complete destabilization, it's annihilation, it's genocide. They want to wipe people out. Because this is bigger than a president, this is a system. And institutions were built on this violence. This has been studied. This has been accessed by thousands of people. You can actually do some research. And I don't mean just type in Google. I mean actually get a book. Preferably join with other people. Join an organization fighting for justice. If you have any idea, which a lot of you do, most of us do, every day we're confronted with nonsense. And this nonsense is stemmed from systematic problems. But we blame ourselves. We do the thing where we think, well, if I position myself, we don't think on the collective level. All of us are sort of like encouraged to be in our individual silos and to not connect with others, but we have to do that connection with one another. We are the determiners of where our future is going, the masses of the people. So don't just believe everything you hear, question it. And if you've had these questions, as I mentioned, if you've thought of things affecting you and you see how it affects your family and you see how the problem is that most people don't have any money because we're being robbed by these jobs, and we're told that we have to just exploit ourselves to get higher. And that's just the way it is. That's just life. That's just a hustle. No, it's a struggle. And we have to struggle forward. But we have to be politically equipped to do that. We have to know what's going on. And we can't just be expecting something to change because someone said it was going to change, especially if we're not looking at the policies, if we're not following it. You're going to get confused. Your brain's going to be hijacked. You're going to do the, well, this is better than that. Yeah, but they have the same ingredients. Lemon cake, pound cake. All of it has sugar. It don't matter. It's sugar in it, right? And that's the thing that, ironically, is one of the most addicting aspects of the human genome. Sugar, that is. Sugar is very addicting. It's addicting more than anything. It's in everything. So there are people, I'm not this person, I still enjoy my sweets, but there are people who don't eat sugar. Like, wow, really? Yeah. You might call it radical. You might say, oh, wow, that's crazy. But there are people who like, I try to limit my sugar. I don't have added sugars. I know that things have natural sugars, but I don't add to it. The point that is being made, and that is always being made, because this happens every time, it's this season of selection. It's not an election. They are selecting who is running this country. What business has the right to exploit its workers? That is the mission. It's not to help people. We don't live in a society that values health. Because if we live in a society that valued health, it wouldn't charge you for it. It would say, hey, you deserve that because you're a human being and you deserve to not have to worry about how you need medicine. It would just be as simple as that. It wouldn't charge for education. I'm not going on a tangent any further. Now my voice is cracking because I'm lacking. But the way this system is macking, trying to make our money stacking, even my voice changed. All of it rearranged. Randomly, uniformly, in search of paradise clarity.